Hey team, it's TK and Dan here. We're at 17 Rocks Chocolate Factory, and Nat, the managing director of the chocolate factory, is going to take us on a tour today and tell us their story. Come on in, here we go. Hey Nat, how are you?
Good,
Nice
hi.
to see you.
Yeah, you too. Hi.
So we're going on the tour today, so we're here to understand your story and the background about the chocolate factory as well. So I know it's been a popular choice in the area at the moment, so we'd like to know more and hear your story today. So thank you for your time, first of all.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
So Mark and I used to have a pizza shop, which we sold, and we thought, well, what will we do? And so we thought about the things that we loved, and we really loved fresh production.
Yeah.
So we started thinking about chocolate because we noticed that there was a little bit of a gap in the market from a bean to bar perspective as well.
Yeah.
And the more and more we looked into chocolate, the more we discovered that we really loved the fact that it's a superfruit, it's a fruit as well, and it's really, really healthy for you, but the way it's been currently made is more focusing on the confectionery side of it.
Yeah.
So what we did was we went and did a bit of travel to explore and see what a cacao plantation looked like, and just understand a little bit more about that industry, and just fell more and more in love with the idea of it. And so what we also loved was the taste of the Papua New Guinea bean.
Yeah.
Well, we liked that the most out of all the ones that we tried. So we also thought, well, they're a neighbour. So awesome.
Yeah.
It's also a neighbour that could do with some more economic stimulus. So if we were buying their beans, that would be a good thing.
Nice.
So we got in touch with a government department over there, and they led us to an awesome supplier that actually deals directly with the farmers and really, really remote areas. And so what we said was, okay, we don't mind if they can give us 1 bag or 10 bags or 100 bags. We're happy as long as it's really lovely quality.
Yeah.
And we didn't expect them to have the organic stamp on it, because if you do that, you cut people out of the market.
Yeah.
So we did that, and when we had 15 tonne of beans come, and we set up a factory.
Wow, 15 tonnes.
15 tonnes. Well, it's quite difficult to get beans in here, so we didn't want to have to just keep on trying to get that supply happening. So that's why we went and did that type of investment. So it's come, then we had to basically put all our academic practice into reality, and so we've got equipment from all over the world. We've got equipment from Russia, we've got equipment from the UK, from America, from China. So there's a lot of different equipment because Australia doesn't have anything like it.
Yeah, wow.
So
I remember, so you were going to say something as well. I remember you telling us a story about the beans coming from a river.
Yeah, that's right.
More about that as well.
So in Papua New Guinea, we get it from the highlands up in Morbi. So it's it's like a rainforest, and it's very dense. And one of the awesome things about Papua New Guinea beans is that Papua New Guinea has got volcanic soil. So which is more nutrient rich.
Yeah.
So it gives that really lovely flavour that you get. It gives that really fruity flavour. But we've got photographs of the villages, and they don't have transport like we have here in Australia. So the way that they've got to get their beans down is they have to make these canoes. Carved out canoes, and then they put their beans on it, and then they go down the river. That's how the cacao beans get transported. It's really every bean has a story.
That's awesome.
It's really quite amazing.
So I can see a lot of ranges of chocolate here as well. I guess, is there a special one that you really love in the shop here as well? Or?
So all of our chocolate's made on the same premise. So we don't do any artificials. So we don't anything that we put in as a flavour comes from a natural source. So we freeze dry any fruits that we put into them, and then we put that through, and it just creates a much nicer, flavour. All of our darks, we don't put any milk in them, so we don't put anything into thin the chocolate down. So it's which makes it a little bit more difficult with tempering, but the taste is much superior. So we've got 2 types of ranges for our bars. So we've got one with 16 different flavours, and then it's a botanical theme. So if you have a look at our range, what we've done is we showcase the botanical hero. So it might be a raspberry, or it might be cinnamon, it might be cashew, or it might be banana.
Wow.
And then we've also got a new range that's probably a little bit more, from my perspective, exciting. And what that is back in 500 BC, so 3,500 years ago, that was when cacao was really first discovered, well, from what we can see in written form.
Wow.
So we wanted to showcase and hero that, and what we've done is the way that we process it, we really minimise that. And so when you bite into this, sometimes you might bite into a cacao nib, which will give you one bit of flavour. You might then bite into a nut, or you might bite into some cinnamon, or this one's chili in there.
I love
so
my favourite.
so every time you bite in, you just get a different texture and a different flavour. So it's kind of like a biscuit. But what's also exciting about it is the way we have designed it as well. So back then, also cacao was used as a currency. So we've created our moulds, because that's one thing we can do here. So every chocolate has its own unique mould, because we've got that skill set. And this one here is a Mayan Birdman. And also, the less processing that you do, when you eat it, like you actually get very satisfied. So you're not having that constant draw back to it. You have it, you're satisfied.
You're satisfied,
To the next day, and then you have it again.
Then you have it again.
We do a range of hot chocolates, which we've got coming out next week. We've got 10 different flavours, which is really quite exciting.
Stay tuned for next week then.
And we also do lots of freeze-dried foods, which are really nice.
Do you want to take us for a bit of a tour around?
Okay. All right. So this is our range here that we've got with the different flavours. We do custom chocolates as well. So here we've got. So if you want to do something a little bit special for your
So is this so this is a gift box for? Is it for a business or?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
So if you wanted to showcase off, we call it Say It Sweeter. So if you want to push your message out, you say it sweeter with a bit of.
What are these? Are these macadamia?
They're macadamia nuts.
Nice. That's awesome.
So
you chocolate.
Of course
You can smell it from here.
So this particular client gets to showcase his logo. And go and give it out to his guests. And then we also just put a little story on, just so that people understand the type of chocolate it is. It's actually.
It's with a few customers in the front. So we're here with Mark now. Mark's going to take us on the tour out the back of into the chocolate factory. I know everyone's been waiting for this, so it's going to be exciting. Here we go. So thanks for your time, Mark.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate it. So,
thank you.
And here we go.
All right. So if you can just give me 2 seconds,
Sure.
and we'll have to put on a couple of hairnets, and then I'll grab those now, and we can get going.
I'm excited.
Oh my god. That looks delicious.
Awesome. So this is our kitchen area, which is very rarely clean and tidy because there's just so much happening. So what we have here is a number of different processes. That there's lots of equipment here, and you'll see it's all stacked up and around the place. And everything is on wheels. We're in a limited space, and we've got to be able to create workstations that are efficient in the space we have. So what we do is we just push equipment into the corner we're not using, and then pull it out when we're ready to use it and set up our workstation.
That's awesome.
If you look at the walls and the ceiling, you'll notice that the entire kitchen, you may not be able to see it, but this entire kitchen is actually built out of 4 shipping containers.
Wow.
So we've had these shipping containers all constructed and lined with the walls cut out in the right spots and doors and windows, and then we craned them all in and assembled them together and fitted out our power and everything and our flooring to create a kitchen space. And that way outside of these containers it's just an empty warehouse, well a full warehouse, but It's just a warehouse. So this kitchen is actually divided up into a few sections, and what we've got over here is basically the process starts when our beans come into the kitchen. They come into this big machine here, which we're currently doing some modifications around the place, but this is our drum roaster. So our drum roaster will actually roast 60 kilos of cocoa beans in one go, which happens to be, or 62 kilos is a full bag, a sack of beans that we get from our pallet.
You do that like every week, or is that?
So we run it in batches.
Yeah.
When we stock up on chocolate, and when we've got our stocks made, then we'll turn it off for a while.
Nice.
And then when we're ready, when we're getting low, then we might do a week or more of just running this continuously. We probably get about 2 roasts per day.
Right.
We could do more, but we slow roast our beans.
Yeah.
So, and we roast them at low temperature to preserve the nutritional value.
Oh, nice.
So once all the beans have gone through the drum roaster, they take about the average chocolate manufacturer might roast for 20 minutes or so. We do an hour, and the average cocoa roaster might go up to 120, 140 degrees. We actually stay probably under 100 degrees for our roast. So it's slow roasted, and then when they come out of this machine, they have to be cooled. So we cool them on racks prior to deshelling them. And deshelling them is a process called winnowing. So winnowing is where we have a couple of machines that we put the beans through to crack the bean into parts and get the nib out from inside, because it's the nib that we make chocolate with. So, and then the shells are used to make other things like compost and things like that.
Oh,
so
really?
we try and use all parts of the bean.
So it's like not wasted.
Not wasted.
Nothing's wasted.
That's right. This is one of our winnowing machines. So it's really loud and noisy. But basically we pour all our roasted beans into the top here, and then a vibrating tray feeds them through some neoprene rollers, and then they crack the beans, just gently cracks them so that they fall apart, because they're brittle after roasting. And then they come out the bottom onto another vibrating tray where we're just resetting our suction device here. So this is actually a giant vacuum cleaner which will suck all the shell off the top, and then the remaining nib comes out the back end of the machine. So that gives us the product that we can start to make chocolate with. The smell of that. That's what cocoa nib smells like. So this here is the clean nib without the shell, and that is ready to make chocolate with. And you can actually eat that by itself, but a lot of people buy this out in the supermarket to put on their cereal and so forth, because it's very nutritional. So this is what you find, what we get after we put it through this machine. And we lose about 20% by weight, and the rest we make chocolate with. So this nib is what we use to put into our melanges, which are these two devices here. So a melanger is basically a stone wheel grinder. We grind by stone, so these granite wheels actually rotate around, and that can crush the nib. So if I turn this machine on, I can just show you. It'll basically work like this, and this will run normally at about this speed. So those wheels will grind the nib for 2 days. 2 days. In here, and the temperature will rise. The temperature here will rise to about 70 degrees. So the combination of heat and grinding pulverizes that nib into chocolate and gets the micron level down. So micron is a measure of the size of particle, and so we basically grind that until the micron level gets down to around 20 to 25 microns, because that's the size of particle that the human tongue can't feel anymore. So it's got to be smooth, and it's in this process that we add other flavors and ingredients, like we might be adding the sugar, or if you're making milk chocolate, we'll add milk powder, or vanilla bean, or other flavors, and that all gets ground and mixed in here. And after 2 days, we take it out of this machine, and we can do that by actually using the tilt function to pour it out. So these will tilt down, right over, and then we can pour the chocolate out of these. And these will make 80 kilos in one batch.
Wow.
So when we have 2 of these running together, we're making 160 kilos of chocolate in 2 days. That's right. So our bulk chocolate gets stored in this room, which is, it basically cures for anything from a week or 2 up to a month or so, and helps the flavour infuse. So we keep this room separate at a constant temperature and humidity. There we keep all our flavours, and then we can draw from here when we're ready to manufacture whatever flavour we want. So when we're getting low on a flavour, we'll go and make more and top it up. Chocolate is a messy product. And if you ever see a clean chocolate kitchen, it means one of 2 things. Either the kitchen is not operational, or they've just cleaned it that morning. Because after that, chocolate is always on equipment. This particular production line here is, this here in the part in the middle is called a tempering machine. And tempering is the process of crystallising chocolate to create a snap and a brittleness when you bite into it. So when the chocolate comes out of our melanges in storage, it's not tempered, it's kind of soft. If you had a thin piece and you tried to break it, it kind of bend and it's not very brittle. Whereas by carefully manipulating the temperature of chocolate, you can align the crystals at a molecular level, and then it makes the chocolate very brittle. And so getting exactly the right temper gives a good crunch when you bite it, or a snap when you break it, and that's what this machine does. So this particular one, it heats the chocolate and then cools it at a certain rate to a certain temperature, so that it creates a tempered effect. And we always do a test, and then we check it, and then we mould our bars. So this particular production line, when it's fully operational, has our moulds all stacked up here, and an automatic feeder that pushes them along, and then a vibrating table to vibrate the chocolate in, and then they go into setting on the rack. So James here is just doing some custom bars at the moment, so he's doing them by hand. And he's just moulding chocolate, dosing, it'll control the dose. So we can program it to say, do 8 doses of 30 grams, so you know what that bar will be, and he's just using that to vibrate the bubbles out and get it to fill the mould, and then it'll go onto the rack for setting. And it might take anything from 20 minutes to an hour to set before it's ready to demould and package. Canning is the process of coating nuts and chocolates. You can see from this rack here, we've got coated, I think these are macadamias. And then here we have freeze-dried marshmallows. And these products are coated in a panning machine, which is basically like a giant mix master. A giant concrete mixer, this thing over in the corner here. Again, we've pushed it across because we're not using it at the moment, but normally this one would be spinning and we're pouring chocolate in to coat it. And then before it goes into setting and packaging here. So we're just packaging up our product here ready for the shelf.
We're really, really excited about the journey to Charleville on the 21st of July. We're hoping to see you all there.
And we'd love to actually support you guys, and how we can support you is we'd love to donate a beautiful $200 hamper, and we'll have all of our new hot chocolates in there, and we'll also have our 500 BC and maybe some special little things, some secrets in there as well. So we'd love to support a small business who's also supporting such an awesome cause.
Thank you. We appreciate your time today, and make sure you're there on the 21st of July, and thank you again, Annette.
There's also another date claimer as well.
Awesome.
On the 7th of July, in honour of World Chocolate Day, because that's what we do, we'd also like to, we're having from 12:30 to 5 o'clock, we're going to have an awesome day here where we'll be offering out free hot chocolates and free samples, and we'll also be doing games like chocolate trivia. We'll be having some secret gold bars hidden through the store that people have got to be able to find. And we're also doing a competition. So if you guys can keep the 7th of July free as well.
Done.
as
Locked
well.
in my calendar. I'll be here.
7th of July, Kiate. Be here, eat some chocolate, win some competitions.
Yeah.
And 21st of July as
And
well.
celebrate chocolate.
That's it. Thank you so much, Annette. I
No
appreciate
worries.
your time. You take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.